Welcome to your source for amplitude modulation on ham radio, the AM window.
Of compressed air all the time, and I guarantee about every 3 months I have to go out and buy 4 more cans just for blowing off the radio knobs and all that stuff. And there's an expense just to be able to look at them. It don't make sense. It costs you money to look at your own radios because I like to try to keep them clean and stuff like that the best I can, and blow them off and blow them out, and keep the fans clean on all this stuff. And it's a never-ending battle, it seems like. I'm in a basement that opens to the outside. I have a door right there by it, a sliding door. And my dogs are down here, in and out, like, especially in the summertime, 600 times a day. And I'd love to have a filtration system, that people, to filter the air down here. But it'd have to be, big just like to keep the dust down. I seem like I'm always battling dust. I envy you guys, like you, Jerry. You got rid of your big transmitter and stuff, and maybe this one station is the way to go. But I love these old radios. I absolutely love them, and I got 3 sons. They could care less about them. They don't care anything about ham radio. My oldest son, he wants. My dad had a Kenwood TS570. And I got it in a Pelican case over here, and my son said he'd like to have that because it belonged to his grandpa. It doesn't even have 30 seconds talk time on it, and Dad bought it in 2000, so it's already 2010, I guess. No, 2000. So, that's 15 seconds on it. Moisturize and all that. It's sad. I hate to see all this stuff go. And I don't know if they appreciate it as much as I would, but there's a love for each one of these pieces I have in here, or I wouldn't have them. And it's a sad day to think about the day it'll be gone, but I've got 2 R3 radios I listen to. I've got Super Pro, I got 3 Super Pro 600s and Super Pro 400s, and they hardly give me the action. I hardly ever turn them on. If I do turn them on, I just turn everything on to keep the caps and stuff, but I don't have time to listen to everything because there's just too much stuff. Anyway, I'll turn it over to so you turn it to me. I'll turn it back to you, I guess. And you can turn it to Gary and go that way around. So, K9GAS, WC4D.
W3MMR back.
Okay, there's a big breaker now in the direct. I was listening. It goes to Charlie from you. And Charlie, if you would pick up the breaker and I'll listen direct, but I missed who it was. You signal direct, K4FMY, go ahead. And then if you would, or you heard, pick up the breaker, K9GAS, then back to you.
Go ahead, Charlie. You still in there? And that was me, Jerry, W3MMR.
Oh, okay, Perry, I was on FEF. I didn't hear you.
No problem. You there, Charlie? K4FNY, W3MMR.
W9JMK. Good, so all I heard was MMR. That's what we always got in the list.
Pick it up and just say good morning, try to get in a rotation here. I know Charlie turned it over to you, Jerry. But anyway, good morning, everyone. I hope all is well. Everyone's staying safe. Let me, real quick here, I got to keep an eye on things here. Anyway, 1 2 1 2 1 2. All right. I switched some things up with my audio last night and just making sure everything's kind of where I had it. Anyway, yeah, weird copy on the guys down south. Jerry, you're very strong. Good morning to number W9JMK as well. I don't know if you were just breaking in there, but I'll turn it over to you. I'm not sure where else it goes there, Jerry, but I'll turn it over to you, Jared. Good morning, Don. Don, you're lots of QSB on your signal. You'll be strong for a couple seconds, and then you'll drop way down in my noise. So kind of funky conditions. Still sleeting and freezing rain here, southeast Pennsylvania this morning. So weird weather for the end of March. Out to you, Jerry. See how you're picking me up. I was copying you very well. W9JMK in the group. Good morning, everyone, from W3MMR.
Okay, fine business, Terry. No, quite nice now. I had a hard time earlier, and I'm still having a hard time with a lot of the guys out here. Still can't hear Gas Man. I can hear Charlie. Good morning to you, Charlie. I guess Henry's gone. Who else is in there? Gary, I don't know if he's still in there. Kevin, GZQ, when you're keyed up, you're by far the strongest out there. And we always have a path, don't we, Kevin? And I heard Don in there, WC4D, but the only big signal was Kevin, full quieting just about. On the VMC rig, I switched from the helicopter stuff to this because I was getting so much interference. And now I'm getting all kinds of static crashes. We got snow on the ground, and I believe it's still snowing as we speak. Okay, I'll keep it short. I'm not quite sure where it goes. If it goes over to Gas Man, I don't know. But thanks for getting me in there. I'll be listening along as I've been pretty much on meeting. So I think it goes to Gas. Yeah, I think so. K9GAS.
No, you're right. So good morning, Jerry. but I know you're not hearing me unless you pull up a web SDR this morning, I think. So it's a bit tough, and that's what I have to do right now is use a web SDR pretty much for most. Yeah, Perry and Charlie, I think, the only two I'm hearing really direct. So anyway, I'm going to keep her short because it's really tough. And thank Charlie. Charlie, you're still coming in here just fine, but it is really pretty rough, bad morning. So I don't know why it's this way. So I don't know. I haven't looked at anything as far as solar events or anything that may have happened. I have not been paying attention. So anyway, Gary, I'll send it down your way. That's how I've been. And you're back to Kevin, and then to Don, and then it went to Charlie, and then to Perry, and then back to JMK, and then it was me. I think that's the rotation as I had it. So, but I'm sure that's going to change here soon. But anyway, go ahead, Gary, W3MMR, K9GAS.
M4JK.
Well, he may have signed. I'm not sure. Art, go ahead and take it and try Gary again. If not, back up to Kevin. N4JK, K9GAS.
Good morning, Roger. K9GAS, from N4JK. I just looked on the rig. Boy, do I hear a bunch of static. I guess we got stuff going on the west of us. We'll see later. Hope everybody has a good weekend. I got interested in something kind of unusual. Common, but I thought it was unusual. I was involved in a private church this past week, getting a cell phone camera hooked up to a tripod so they could stream the church service. And it worked. All you have to do is connect to a social media site, Facebook Live, and you can stream from your cell phone. So I had my cable set off, watched the preacher go at it, and it worked pretty well. I was surprised. Anyway, that's the latest project, I guess. Let me see if Gary's there. KK4GZQ, I'm a group Kevin, you might give him a call from up there too. Hope you had a good weekend. KK4GZQ, the group from N4JK.
Okie doke, Art. N4JK in the group. KK4GZQ. Slow weekend, Art. A lot of rain. It's a mucky mess up here. And Gary signed out when Perry picked it up. And good morning to Perry, W3MMR. And also to Jerry, W9JMK. And Jerry, you're pounding them down here. You're 35, maybe even 40 over at times. Art, you're strong. And Charlie was just a little up and down. And the gas man has stayed real constant. Just kind of, it seems like he's just a little under the water there. But I can hear him down here. And, of course, Don over here close by is just hardly readable. So it's just the way the band's rolling this morning. I'm using the Web SDR in Townsend, Massachusetts, Web Associates. It's working for me, or it seems like it's working a little better picking some of you guys up than the SEF is this morning. So anyway, that's about all I know here. I'm on the Flex 3000 with the AL1200. And listen to you guys, like I said, again, from the SDR in Massachusetts and then my own receiver here. So anyway, keep it moving around. Don, I'm going to try to send it your way, and if not, the gas man may come in and help us out a little bit. Whiskey Charlie 4 Delta with group KK4GZQ. Morning again, Art.
All right, Kev. Good frog out of my throat. And good morning, Art. Good morning, Jerry. Yeah, I got a K9GAS there, boy. I tell you what, you're pounding in here too. I hear you real good. I was hearing Charlie. I have to listen to SDR on. I feel like I'm ghost talking back here. I'm talking, but nobody can hear me. But I have to, unless they're on the SDR. Thank goodness for it, because it would make some rough communications if we didn't have web SDR during these band conditions like this. But I'll tell you what, we picked up a few, we dropped a few. Perry, I can copy you direct. I can't copy you on web SDR hardly, but I heard you really good on direct. I'm going to have to find the one that Kevin just mentioned. I've never used that one. I used the one down in Orlando, and I used the one in Alabama, and I listened to the one up there in FEF is the one I listen to most of the time. You guys need to put bigger antenna systems up so we can copy up everybody. Have remote antennas so we can switch them around all over the place. Anyway, I was hoping for a good day. My neighbors all around me have been cutting their grass. Seems funny, cutting the grass when it was 38 degrees the other day. But it was sunny and it was a nice day, but I got my blades off my lawnmower, but I got to get them sharpened. I have a grinder here, but I don't attempt to do it. I pay too much for the lawnmower blades to go out there and try to butcher them up myself. I don't do a real good job with it. I'm trying to sharpen them myself, so I usually take them over to one of the equipment places here in town, let them do it for $5 and be done with it. But I hate paying the money out to do it, but they do a whole lot better. They got some kind of big special German machine that they do it with, and it does an awesome job. You can just about shave your arm with it. And he says, well, how sharp you want it? And I said, well, I want it fairly sharp, but I don't want to shave with it. And I think the last time that he sharpened them for me, I think I could almost shave with him. He had it really, really sharp. And that way just means it's going to get duller a lot quicker when they're that sharp. So I just told him, I'm going to have to tell him this time back off on the sharpening. Let's don't go crazy on it like you did last time. I'm going to turn it over to Charlie, since everybody else is gone. Kevin's, I guess Charlie just must be turning over to Perry. Maybe that's the way it goes, because I turned it to Charlie. I was supposed to. I messed up last time. I had a moment of indecision there, and so I messed up there. So anyway, K4FNY, WC4D. Go ahead and pick it up, Charlie.
Don, you're about the only person I can hear now, and Jerry, so I can't comment on anything, so I'm going to just turn it on around. Good seeing you, Mom. Go ahead. K4FNY.
K4FNY in the group W3MMR. Okay, Charlie, I didn't catch what you first said before that. I'm sorry, I was kind of preoccupied and I heard you turn it to me. I know it was a short transmission. That's really all I know. I'm sorry. Anyway, good morning. Everyone's signals are starting to come up now. Don, you came way up. Real easy copy on you, Don, so real good on that. Sorry, I'm looking at something here. And good morning to you, Kevin, KK4GZQ, a real big copy here as well. Jerry, both Jerrys I have a good copy on. And Charlie, you were a Q5 copy as well. So things are starting to improve for me anyway. Yeah, I've been trying not to use WebSDR as much as I can. It seems like a lot of QSOs that probably shouldn't be QSOs or QSOs because of WebSDR, which is okay, I guess. I guess if you have, the way I look at it is if you have like extremely high noise level at your house, like Don will get that power line noise sometimes, or I'll get a power line noise here, so on and so forth. I could understand using it and stuff like that, but it was just crappy band conditions, I guess it kind of is what it is, but I don't know. I've been trying not to use it as much as I can lately, and kind of go back to the way things should have been, or used to be, not should be, used to be. But hey, that's ham radio nowadays, man. Things are changing rapidly in our hobbies, so it's definitely a good thing for some folks. That's for sure. But everybody's definitely coming up here in southeast Pennsylvania. Real great to hear. Hope everybody's staying safe. I don't know how things are affecting you guys locally here with the COVID-19. I know that we officially have 2 cases here in my city, in my little small city I live in here in Chester, and it's middle-aged, middle-aged male to middle-aged female, 50 and 60 years old, in their 50s and 60s here, and I knew it was a matter of time before we had cases here in the city, and I know that they're going to continue to rise. But we still got to go to work today, and we're an essential business. But I think with more and more people being locked down and less people, like I said, being able to be allowed out, and more people are out of work and the less money they have, I don't think getting people getting their cars fixed is at the top of their priority list. So we have been slow, but there seems to be some stragglers that still come in towards the end of the day. So we'll see how long we can stay open, because the boss said if we're super slow, you can't keep the doors open. So fingers crossed that we can stay open, because I'm thankful I still do have a job at this time. So with that being said, I'll keep it moving back out to you, Jerry, out there, and we'll see how you're still picking me, if you're still picking me up pretty good. W9JMK in the group from W3MMR.
You sent it this way, Kevin. I lost it.
He did, Jake.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm going to get out of here. I'm not hearing much of anybody as of yet. I've been in here since 3:30, and conditions just are not changing. So I'm going to bow out. Art again. Good morning, Art. And Charlie, you two are just like Kevin. Always down. Quite nice. But I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to try 160, see what's going on there. Well, thanks, guys, for letting me in, and hope you guys have a wonderful day, and please all stay safe. Always a pleasure. So I think I turned over the gas man last time, and I'm going to continue to do so. You guys, maybe we'll have better luck tomorrow morning. So best 72s all the way around. K9GAS. If you can hear me, my friend, coming your way. W9JMK.
Okay, sure. Yeah, catching you on the web SDR is just fine with texting. So, yeah, it's just not there yet. So, it might be 8 o'clock or something. And then come in and say hello on the northern contingency there. But I think bacon, eggs, my own homemade McMuffin. Sounds pretty good right now, so I'm going to go make some breakfast. Starting to get hungry, so I'm trying to limit my food intake here. Still trying to lose weight, but it's not a good time to lose weight because you can't get active, and the weather's not very cooperative. I'd be out there working on stuff, but this rain and smucky snow and cold air for the last minute here has not been fun. I think that's what you said too, Jerry, but I know you're not hearing me. Anyway, I don't think it's correct. I think it's very Charlie art for me, so it is sort of a distant, in a certain distance, but it's in a direction, so it's a bit odd. But yeah, Kevin, I got 3 web SDR windows on this thing, so I'll pop and look at each one. Yes, up there must be a pretty cheap unit because it's catching a lot of bleed over from that stair program. Coming in pretty strong, actually. Yeah, that's one thing bad about the dongles. They don't have any fantastic filtering. You're kind of in the wrong spot for those broadcast anyway, I'll send it. Let's see, Art, I guess that's right, because I think Gary did sign, so down to you. And I'll say my good morning. I'm sure there'll be some others jumping in here, but I think it's time for some breakfast. And yeah, our congregation, just about everything is doing some sort of video feed now. So I think that's going to be a new wave of things. And I heard comment from people, which I think is good if you can stay, keep your discipline in action, that they're thinking with all this homework, people that do mainly phone calls or sales or, don't have to be in an office, that may have things to come. And I think they're saying, hey, you're not have to pay the 5 months to pick up this business office and just pay the utilities for homework. So it'll be interesting to see what comes out of this for the time. Over to you, Art. M4JK. I'll say 7-3s for now. Good morning, all. K9GAS.
Okay, Gary, and I hear Kevin in there from W9JMK. Well, it may be the way of the future. More working from home. Businesses don't have to type office space. Just have to invest in remote equipment, I guess. I did a bunch of that in the past, and I liked it. It required a little more discipline than I really was capable of, but it worked out. That's what I did when I came down here to Destin. I worked for a big company, and they kind of said, well, you don't have to come to the office, but you got to be near an airport. A lot of our work ended up in class on the system. So I got a good internet connection and extra telephone line, and was all set. One of the things I used to do in the past was work in television, and I know what it is to make a good analog picture. But it just blew me away to see how simple it can be done and inexpensively to create a decent video image, moving image on the internet. It's just not right. It should be more paint. Oh man, technology just gets better and less expensive. I'm working outside there, Jerry. Well, what you asked for. In the last 2 weeks, it has gotten quite nice down here. I closed up the house, turned on the air, and the wife has cracked the whip, and I've been out pulling weeds and putting out mulch, plant stuff, trying to get things spruced up a bit. We still got more to do, but we've made a lot of progress. This is the time of year with just major climate changes. Increase to Jerry, W9JMK, nice signal down. And Jerry, good lucky for it. Guess I'm glad you're one of the essential people. Anyway, take care. I turn on the static, pull up the map, see everything that I'm hearing is north Mississippi and North Alabama. So looks like you folks above us are going to get some rain. We could use some. We haven't seen any in a couple weeks. A little consistent. Charlie, I got you fine. You're just down here, so I hope you can hear me. And Don, the SDRs, they sure do make things possible. That REA one that Kevin's talking about is very good. Good, very sensitive, low noise, good fidelity, so I think you'll like that one. And speaking of SDRs, Kevin, the 3000 is doing a fine job for you. You're loud and clear. There's not a thing I can do about it. KK4GZQ in the group from N4JK.
Good thing I wasn't drinking coffee about then, Art. I'd have laughed out loud on that one. N4JK in the group, KK4GZQ. And look, yeah, I'm with Perry. I believe the band's kind of seeming to straighten up a little bit here. And that Web Associates is a good SDR. You're right, Art. And you know, since you guys have turned me on to these some years ago, and of course, I've been searching around for some new ones. We found a good one out in Utah. A lot of us were using, and I need to check the one in Half Moon Bay out in south of San Francisco, KFS SDR. And it's always fun to see if you're making the West Coast as well. So might try that one here a little bit, just see what's going on with the band. But Art, what I was going to say is there's been quite a few more pop up. I've heard some other guys talk about some different ones. And Art, there's been some talk of Kiwi, and I haven't explored or even checked into it yet. So you might make a comment on that. Don, let me send it on around you. Morning all the way around, guys. Let's hope this band gets a little better for us. Whiskey Charlie 4 Delta with the group, KK4GZQ. Good morning, Don. Oh, and good morning to Kevin. Art, we may have skipped WB0JZG. I'm not sure if Don's going to hear him, so let me back up here for a minute. Art, let me send it back to you and see if you can pick up Kev, and then Kev can send it over to Don. N4JK in the group, KK4GZQ.
Okay, Kevin, wish you would go ahead and pick it up and then turn it up to Don, WC4D, WB0JZG in the group from N4JK.
W4,
Don, WC4D in the group from N4JK.
Oh, thank you, Art. N4JK, WC4D. I don't know who was in there. I didn't catch it. I didn't hear anybody. I switched over to Web SDR. Didn't hear anybody. I don't know who that was. I heard something about a zero call. I think you mentioned, and or Kevin did, and I didn't hear anybody. So sorry about that. It's luck of the band today. I have to go. So I'll tell you what, Art, days like today and stuff like that, I kind of miss Florida a little bit. Just a little teeny tiny bit, but not much. I was glad to get out of there. I think God needs two homes maybe. Maybe he needs a winter home and a summer home up here or something, but I've been working outside every day down there and doing my telephone work down there all over Florida, especially southern Florida. Especially around Tampa area was the worst. They had a real high water table and stuff like that, and a lot of the telephone lines were buried. And if they had placed any more cable, everything went underground, it seemed like. And we would have to put these, if it was a very big splice and it had to be a big pit, they'd put down what they call well points. We'd have to pump the water out of the ground. Or if we had a smaller area, we'd use what we call a mud hog. And it would just suck all the water in that general little spot that you were working in, but you had to pump the water out of the ground all the time. And I didn't like that a bit. That wasn't one of my favorite things to be doing down there, and digging in it was even worse. And if you didn't watch, we used to use like a bucket with a bunch of holes in it so the water would drain into it and the pump would pump out, because if you put the little head of the pump down in the ground, it would suck itself down to the ground, and you couldn't get it. I know guys would have to set their hoses and lose the good head to the pump because it would just bury itself and keep sucking itself down into the ground. So the closer you get to the coast and stuff like that, the worse it got, and more inland you get, the better it was. So it was better to work over in Lakeland or someplace like that than it was to work in Tampa if you had to dig in the ground very much. But that old sugar sand and everything else would just cave in on you. You would have to dig a hole as big as a Volkswagen almost to bury a Volkswagen in just to make a small splice. I mean, if it's going to be there for a while, you'd have to have a big one because it keeps caving in all the time. And we'd put plywood up and we'd call it shoring and all this. And it was a lot of extra work just to do something simple. Ended up being a lot more work. So aerial work was a pleasure sometimes to get to work off a ladder or use. I didn't have a bucket truck at that time. I did when I came up here. I got one, but down there I never owned a bucket truck. I used to work off a ladder and everything else because you can't get a bucket truck in most people's backyards anyway. So it's pretty well worthless as far as that goes. I'm hearing you really good. I had a great copy on Gary Perry. It's pounding in here this morning. Perry, you're the top dog again. You're 40 over. And Gary was right there behind you, J&K. And still can't copy Kevin at all. I have to only hear empty web SDR. So good morning and 7-3s to Gary. And Perry, you're doing great, man. You got it working today because the bands are with you. And Charlie, I heard him last time direct too. I lose him completely, and then he's come back again. So it's going to be hit or miss on that. Kevin, if you get a chance, send me a link to the one that you're working on, SDR. I'm not familiar with that one, and I was going to look through the registry here of all of them, and I done forgot where you said it was at. So if whatever the one everybody's talking about is so good, because obviously I don't have the good ones. The one in Orlando is really noisy. And my go-to one is the FEF. So if you got another one or so that works good, send me a link to them if you don't mind. I'm going to turn it over to Charlie and see what's happening down there in Georgia there. What's your temperature down there this morning, Charlie? You guys getting rain or anything down there? K4FNY, WC4D.
Don, check your messenger. I sent you the link already. I sent it to you about 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Okay, Don, WC4D. Good K4SNY. Currently it's 51 degrees here right now, Don. And North Georgia, now, I'm not in a huge band of storms in North Georgia surrounding Blue Ridge, about moving to the east. So the tail end of it may get me this morning. But we've had kind of consistent warm weather down here. Everything's blooming out. I mean, the grass is greening up, so I'm taking an early vacation. So I've got to run and have a break here and get a coffee run here. So I'm going to have to leave the receiver for the security gate and drew me up to Southern Quill. So, Gary, I've just turned it to you. I hope you can still copy. K9GAS,
I think that he has signed there, Charles. Are you there? K9GAS from N4JK.
And I think it was supposed to come over to me after that. Am I wrong on that? Maybe I am.
K4FNY from N4JK.
There was another breaking station too.
Well, I'll try. Max, go ahead and make one. And, I don't know where it goes to after that. I guess there's a lot of folks just sign this time. Maybe, send it down to me. I'll throw it to Kevin. How's that? W4AX. How was your weekend? This is N4JK.
It was actually supposed to come up to me, and then to Jerry, and then down to you, Art. But Mac, go ahead and make one, and then I'm gonna make my final. I'm gonna get out of here.
Okay, Art, I did really copy who said I was supposed to send it up to him, so you'll have to help me with that, Art. Conditions aren't great out there in for a while. It's great that fishing conditions are better now. K4JK, W4AX, good morning, everyone. 50 degrees, 503, all around Georgia, about 40 minutes. Well, we were bunkered up, and we were just waiting on what the next steps are. Been listening to the discussion on the web SDRs. I used to run 8 different bands on web SDRs. Quite popular. It's equally as popular as K3FDS. And I stopped doing that primarily because I had a lot of complaints down in the comments from people that whenever I transmitted, like right now, it would wipe out the SDRs. And of course it will. You know, I'm transmitting at legal limit within, I don't know, 100 yards or maybe 200 yards from where the receive antennas were. And, spontaneous thinking that's going to wipe things out. So I just decided it's probably better not to have one. But I do have a brand new in-the-box Kiwi SDR with all the actual receive antennas and everything in there. As a piece of cotton, I may put it on the air to play with it. If you've not played with the K9GAS SDR, they possess a unique capability. They really do, and you can read about it on the web. But you can actually triangulate using 3 of them down to, 20 to 50 meters. So if you ever had a jammer and you want to know where the signal's coming from, geographically, you just dial in about 3 SDRs. And it'll pop up Google Maps, show you a circle of probability with where that signal is. Didn't get on 38 over the weekend, the old military report. That's just, it's just too many people. And the Florida AM net, some of you fellows in Florida might have comment on how you feel about folks outside of Florida just saying good morning. All right, Art, help me with who it was supposed to go to. I'm sorry I did not copy the last station. N4JK, W4AX.
Good morning, KK4GZQ. Jay's in there. I think it goes up to Perry. W3MMR and a group from N4JK.
Yeah, thanks, Art. Yeah, I just want to get out of here and sign. So good morning to you, Jay. KK5IM, sounded fantastic. Real big signal here, Jay. Yeah, weird banding conditions up here this morning. I just want to make a couple comments real quick. Good morning, Mac. Yeah, Mac, the TDOA function on the Kiwi SDRs does work good. But nobody else can be transmitting at the time of the signal that you're trying to figure out where it is, the jammer. And then you have to hope that they stay keyed up for 10 seconds or however long it takes to run through the TDOA function there on the Kiwi SDRs. But it does work good if you you're able to select choose the right SDRs around said signal, and we've been able to figure out a couple of jammers and who they were by using the TDOA function on the Kiwi SDRs, and it gives us a good good 100-mile radius or so hot spot to hone in on, and then you just and usually these people that are jamming are it isn't their first time jamming, so you kind of already have an idea who it is. And then once the TDOA map comes up and you see it's right in their area, you kind of put 2 and 2 together, and it's pretty easy to figure out at that point. But it is a really cool function of the Kiwi SDRs, and I use a Kiwi SDR up in Connecticut for there is one in Connecticut, but the one I use, there's one here a couple counties over that I use for recording my audio. because it is really, really low noise floor there, and I come in very strong in the evenings, so I use that for recording my audio. But like I said earlier, I've been trying to get away from using web SDRs as much as I can because, you know, one person will be coming in good on one web SDR, then I got to switch to another one for somebody else, and then I have 5 web SDRs open all throughout my browser, and I'm trying to switch. It remembers which one said person was, you know, coming in strong on, and, you know, at this point, it's kind of like, unless I'm having a really, really, like if I'm having power line noise or something, I'll use it. But if it's just, you know, if the said person is just weak and I can't hear them, then I'm just not going to be able to have a QSO with them. You know, it's just the way I feel about it there. So, and then 9 times out of 10, if I can't hear them, you know, if they're running the same power as me, they're not going to be able to hear me. Either. So it's kind of just one of those things where, oh well, it isn't, you know, the QSO shouldn't have been happening, and we won't make it work. We'll try again next time. So anyway, 7-3 guys, have a great day. It's been great getting in here with you fellas. Everybody stay safe, please. Stay out. I mean, if you don't have to go out, please don't go out. And it's miserable here, 38 degrees, sleet and freezing rain, and I got to go out to work in this mess. This not just a weather mess, the world mess that we're in. So over to Art, and then Art, I'll have you pick up. Then you can pick up Jay, KK4GZQ, because I know you've been waiting, Art, to get in there. So N4JK in the group, 7-3 everyone from W3MMR.
W3MMR from N4JK. Okay, Perry. Well, have a good day. And stay healthy there. Matt, my wife Kate and I are hunkered down here, but we've got to leave the bunker today. She gets an infusion every month for rheumatoid arthritis, so we've got to go over to the infusion center and I'll sit there for a couple hours. It's a well-run place and it's not too crowded, so I think we'll be all right. But we have pretty much canceled all our appointments and things like that. This is one that we're going to keep with. And we'll have to get out before too long. Our appointment is at 8 o'clock. Mac, that's pretty neat on the Kiwi. I didn't know anything about it. And the fact that you can triangulate with them, man, that's cool. Maybe that'll help do the job that the FCC is not doing these days. As far as the Florida AM net, yeah, we're glad to have folks come in out of Florida. There are usually many. So be sure to throw your call in, and we'll, of course, they use NetLogger. You can see where you are there. And as a matter of fact, you don't even have to call in to sign in on NetLogger. I did want to tell you, Mac, I've done what I threatened to do last week. I've changed microphones, and I now have a D104 on this Flex. So I can now sit back in my easy chair and I'll record. It's wonderful. Oh, yeah, Don, I wanted to tell you that I didn't realize you'd lived down in Florida. And I've had that very same feeling about I can't wait to get out. But as it ended up, I did a little visiting in Northwest Florida and thought, this is different than the rest of the state. And so I did escape Florida. I went back up to Atlanta for about a year, and then I ended up down here in Northwest Florida for about 20 years. And I'm going to stay. It's okay. But I sure understand how frustrating that was to work in that sugar sand. And like you, in my work, I was in South Florida working at a satellite uplink.